Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and we're back on with the Mini Mayfair for James. So I've done a little bit of investigating, so I'll start the video off with that. I've done a bit of investigating. Obviously we ordered all the panels and bits and pieces we needed, although I think we needed, you'll find out later in the video, and I think we've pretty much nailed it. So basically I got in here with a wire wheel and we started to investigate. Yeah, okay. Without further ado, let's get stuck into it. I'll bring you into the boot area now and I'll show you what we found. I'm quite surprised by it, to be honest. It needs a few minor repairs, but we'll show you anyway. So in the boot, you can see I've wire wheeled all around here. They're the holes for the wiring for the fog light, so we don't have to worry about them. But that's your valance closer panel, which, okay, it's got a bit of surface rust on it, but it's actually really, really good. I've gone on and looked under the car and you can't even see rust on the other side. So I think it's just where these two things have been kind of sandwiched together. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably make this as a whole piece. We'll make this section up and then we'll obviously plug weld into this again, clean it all up, make it nice, put some rust treatment on it. This mount's perfect. It's just bubbled each side of it. It's very, very common. It's so common that, believe it or not, it's the exact same on the other side. It's just gone a bit further around on that side, but it'd be easier. I can make it one piece, like a bit of an L shape, and we can hopefully save this again, which is perfect. So like I say, we're just trying to get this car nice and solid, trying to retain as much of the originality of it as possible, if we can. It's always a good thing. So yeah, what I'm going to do is to trim all this out. So before we get going on that, now I kind of know what we're tackling in the boot isn't so bad. I've got to show you one piece in there, so which is a bit rough, but if you remember, over here, we've got a section we can play about with to make that up, so not bothered by that. I don't want to put all of this in because this is a really poor pressing of a panel. If you remember the budget clubman, and if you don't remember the budget clubman, please go check that out. We used most of that panel. Well, I didn't use the tyre well bit because it didn't match up at all and it wasn't rusty. So I used kind of all the edge of it and it's awful. It's a really, really thin bit of metal and it took a lot of work and a lot of tidying up to make it look as half decent as it does. So I don't want to be using it. Number one, doesn't need it. I just need that section out the middle basically, and it doesn't reach in far enough to get them other repairs, so I'll make them. I like making a few bits up. So what I'm going to start with though is we're going to get this off, which is the rear valance. You can see there it started to corrode. That's what's left of the bracket for the fog light, but that side where it's got the left hand drive grommets in for the fog light is all rotten and all gone. So I think if I could be able to see how good these closures really are, we'll get the valance off out of the way. We are now waiting on a new panel because, like I say, we've made a few discoveries. It is a bit like Swiss cheese in there. So what James has done, thankfully, is by the lower heritage panel, we'll put a whole hinge panel in. But really that's the last bit to do. If I can get the inside of the boot solid and the valance right, we can, once we cut the valance off, we can repair that boot section underneath this and basically leave this in place for as long as possible, then put the new one in. Let's have it. Let's get on with it. Before I get the grinder out and put you guys on time lapse, please consider subscribing to the channel. You don't know how much it helps us out. Subscribing to the channel and giving these videos a thumbs up is a massive, massive boost for the YouTube algorithms, and yeah, it really is appreciated, guys, so please do that. Right, I'm gonna get on. Like I mentioned, with these two cars apart next to each other, I don't know how much filming I'm gonna get done on them. I'm really, really crunched with time. You probably have seen the video reason why by this point this one comes out. I've got a lot to do and not a lot of time. I've got that to get a floor in, that one to get painted. I've got a lot to do, so I'll film as much as I possibly can, guys, but the cars that aren't mine, aren't owned by me, fortunately, to go. So let's get going. As per tradition on Simpsons Classics, I haven't taken it off the traditional way. There's a few spot welds left mainly on this side, but this side you can see someone's done a bit of a repair here and it all way along to there, so I thought I'll just cut the worst of it out and see what's left of the floor. And actually, I will grab a torch and show you in a second, but the actual floor is really decent. It's only this section here which someone seems to have bodged, because all this filler Look how thick that is. Fell out the back of it, so I think it's had a bit of a fender bender there, and yeah, you can see that it's just weak as hell. So all that needs chopping out. So I'll probably chop that out just so I can get the boot floor flat, because we're gonna have to replace this section of the boot floor anyway. But the rest of this can just clean back now. The closers actually look really, really good. They're absolutely solid. So we'll have to see what we're doing with them. So I'll trim back the rest of this, get this out. Like I say, not the normal way you do it. You drill out spot welds here, but I ain't got time for that. So much patience. So yeah, we'll get it sorted. This side's quite rough. You know, that would be a hole there. So right, I'll clean back the rest of this and I'll get back to you guys. Yeah, so with the valance off now, you can actually see, so it's all nice and smooth there. Looks fine, doesn't it? But you can see where someone's done that repair, and it's all full of filler on the back. So yeah, it's obviously started rotting in that centerpiece, and no one's done anything about it really. Oh well, it's going now. It's a bit of an update. I've trimmed out everything. Obviously the valance is off. Valance closures are savable. So what I'm doing now, I'll bring you in a second and show you, but I thought I'd talk to you and tell you what I'm doing, because you guys kind of like that side of things. Is I'm just using some rust treatment. So I've got some Cure Rust here, or Cure Rust, however you want to pronounce it. And I'm just putting it on the top side of the valance closer. So that runs right under your subframe mount. But this is good, really good and solid. But where the boot floor's been on it, there's just a bit of surface rust. So I'm taking a chance now while I can get to it, just to give it a bit of a treatment. Just get the rust out while we can, and go from there really with it. So I'm gonna let that do its thing. And yeah, go from there. I'm quite happy with it really. I thought it would be a lot worse. So I'll show you on this side. Right, so you can see that I've cut out all of the rot there. It's in like a weird L kind of boomerang shape. I'll probably make the shape a bit easier for me to make and probably just come out to it there, but all this is really good and solid. So like I say, this is the valance closer here, and you can see it's a bit of surface rust on it. So what I'm doing is I'm literally just dabbing it over now with some Cure Rust. I'll now leave that overnight. And yeah, I think we should be able to save these. So get it all down in that corner. So I've cleaned back all the metal where it sits, apart from obviously the subframe mount. But again, you look underneath, it's fine. Really, the subframe needs to come out of this. Give the boot floor a good going over with a wire wheel. But I'll show you what I've done of the boot floor so far, and it's in really, really good shape. So yeah, right. That'll do for there. Leave that overnight. So that's doing its thing. Right, so the next part that's going to need a bit of rust treatment is along here. So you can see that is all, you can see obviously what we need to replace, a big gaping hole there, but all of that is all just surface rust. So I'm going to use some rust treatment on this. It's nice and smooth to touch. I've gone over it with a wire wheel, you can see the shiny metal and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty decent. So we're obviously going to replace this section because we've got it. But everything else that I can see as far back as I can see, I'm going to just give some treatment on and go from there. So, buzzing with that. So, yeah, like I say, got the tops of them just cleaning off. Same that side, and then we'll make up the repair panels. Obviously that will cover all that back up. But yeah, really good and strong there, really impressed. I wanted to try and keep it as OEM as possible, hence why I'm doing just the subframe repairs there. Sorry, the mount repairs. And then along here, just a bit I can see, the battery box needs just wire wheeling back, but that's good and solid as well. So yeah, really quite happy. So we just got, basically, again with this car, the worst bit's the bodge. So this is the next section to sort. So we're just waiting for that rear panel to turn up, and I think I'll do the hinge panel, get that on, and then I can clean back, once the hinge panel's out, sorry, I can clean back the existing part of the boot floor, and then we've got that panel to put in it. So, winner, right. Back home, back tomorrow, and I'll do a bit more. And it's that next day again. Well, actually, I say it's the next week. We have a little delivery. Ta-da! James has gone ahead and bought a Heritage hinge panel for me, which is epic. So we'll get that fitted in right now. Well, I say right now, not right this second. So looking at the car, off camera I've been a little bit busy, so I haven't done nothing. Frame repairs are all done. So there's basically a section there and a section there, but it's all in, all smoothed back. Quite happy with that. Same again on that side. So yeah, quite happy with that. So now the next point of call is really to cut this hinge panel out. We need to try and get this out so then I can repair this center section of the floor and then clean back the lips ready for, obviously there's 3 sections here. If you're not familiar, you've got this section which folds down. You can see on this new panel, it's got a flange for the bumper to sit on. And then you've got the boot floor, which is the piece still here. And then underneath there's another lip that's for the balance. Obviously that is now currently off the car, but is on the part shelf over there. So what I'm gonna do, I think, is we're gonna cut this hinge panel out. Just make a good line, cut as much as we need off, take these out, and then we can repair this boot floor, and then we can look at getting this in. So time lapse, guys. Another bit for the scrap pile. Right, tidy this lip back now. As you'll see, I've marked off where the new panel comes to and cut off way lower than I wanted. You never cut where the line is. Obviously everything was sat on top of each other there and doubling up. So right, I'm gonna clean back this lip and then see, I think we're gonna have to repair pretty much this center section from looking at it. More cutting. As always, covered. And it's always worse than you think. Let's have a look. So, as you can see, things got a bit extreme. Yeah, that's the tyre well right there, and we're missing all of that. So that's fun. All the way along here, it's really good. This seems really decent. So I didn't film it all. I started to drill spot welds. Then I've got these really cool chisels that I got from Frost. In fact, they come with a really cool kit, and you can grab them. So they're a panel seam splitting trim like tool basically. There's 3 of them in there. There's a discount code for you guys in the link description below, so please use that. Really good. Once you get the spot weld kind of drilled out or ground out, whatever method you like to use, then you can start battling along the seam. This is the worst bit. This is the bit we knew about in the center. It's absolutely full of filler. That's the boot floor, so you can't weld to that. So that's all gone, and then there's like remnants of bits and pieces. So I've kept this piece here, but I'll probably end up chopping this off because we do have the panel for it. But I've mainly kept it there so of a bit of a reference because it's still a hole and it is solid, to be fair. But all around here, where you'd expect, where moisture would sit around a bracket and stuff like that, that's all gone. So you're missing all the lip all the way to there basically, and then it's fine all the way to that side, but it's just basically located right where that bodge was. It's located in that area. So how are we going to repair it? We've got this Magnum panel just here, so it's got all the right profiles and bits and pieces like that. Well, some of you might have fitted it, but if you remember the Budget Clubman, I used quite a lot of that panel apart from the tyre well bit because the profile is dreadful. It just didn't work at all. So, and I didn't need to use it. The tyre well was good in the Budget Clubman, but I used the whole thing all the way along. We may or may not end up doing that on this. I think I've only got a little bit of it left. I might just cut it out. So stay tuned. I might just cut it out and put the whole lip in the back of it. Then it's one big piece welded in, and it's the whole of the seam is then done. I haven't got to worry about anything. So I think I might do that. We'll have to have a look. We'll have to have a look, see. And then we'll go that route with it, I think. Bit of measuring. So I'm going to park this one here. I really wanted to get everything fitted in, but I think this video's gone a little bit too long as it is. So we'll leave you in suspense. We've got that back panel, we've got the valance. Off camera, I'm going to trim up this panel, and we'll probably start the next episode welding that boot floor panel in, getting the rear paneling and the valance. We'll get all three in one go, because in theory, it's nice clean seams to weld to. We can try out in this workshop for the first time, see if the spot welder works. I'm not having any hope. The electricity trips here all the time, which is not fun. So it might be plug welding, guys, but either way, fixed is fixed. It's nice and solid. There's no harm in plug welding. Most of my cars are plug welded because I don't have the chance to use a spot welder. So remember to subscribe to the channel. When this video goes live, we are, I think, I don't know, 100 maybe, away from 10K. So please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. I'll take some pictures for James and send him his rust report. And yeah, little weaves on our way. So the next episode we'll get everything fixed in. So thank you very much for watching. Remember to check out our sponsors. We've got Minimine for all your classic mini needs. James bought all these bits and pieces, like you buy everything. Anything you need. There's discount code on the screen now for them, guys. So go to check them out. Get your bits and pieces bought. And Frost Restoration, where I just said about them panel tools. These guys and the big banner over there, discount code in the description for them. Get your tools and get your bits and pieces like that. Some really, really trick bits they sell. And they always come in massive helping hand in, and all your consumables, paints and stuff. So, right, I'm going. Bye-bye.